Hey YouTube, today we're going to do an oil change on my 2001 Toyota Echo. This will be the same process whether you own a 2000 or 2005. It's a 4-cylinder, and whether you own a sedan or a hatchback, it's the same process. So please like and subscribe and stay tuned. So remember guys, safety first. Always wear protective equipment, use gloves, put on your goggles or face mask. When you're working under a car, make sure you got it in park and the emergency brake applied. So this is my 2001 Toyota Echo. It's a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder. This right here is the oil dipstick to check the level. This car requires 3.6 liters of engine oil, and here's the oil filler cap, and the cap tells you which type of oil to put in. In this case it's a 5W30. If we look down, we're looking straight down the motor, you can see the oil filter right down there. And today we're going to be changing the oil filter and the oil, and this whole job should take really less than 20 minutes. And the tools required: the new oil filter. I got this at Canadian Tire parts store, but you can get these things at Walmart or any other auto parts store. What we're going to need is a new oil filter and 3.6 liters of engine oil. Today I found Quaker State 530. It's a 5-liter container, and it was $22, so I thought that was a great deal. It's a synthetic blend, which is perfectly fine for 2000 to 2005 Toyota Echos. You're also going to need one tool, a 14mm socket, or you can use a box end wrench, a crescent wrench, vise grips, just about anything to open the drain plug. Hi guys, just to note before we start, this car I didn't need to raise or jack up. I could get my drain pan and all my tools and myself underneath the car. You may need to on your car. Please be safe. Make sure you're using jack stands or blocks, or better yet, ramps for your car. What you saw there is I loosened the filler cap on the engine so that when I'm draining, the oil will come out really quick and easy without going glug glug. It's also good to lubricate the gasket on your new oil filter. As you can see there, I'm just dipping my finger in the cap, get some fresh clean oil onto the new filter. And now we're under the car. I've got my 14mm socket and my drain pan, my plastic bin to catch the oil. Again, I didn't have to raise the car. There's enough room for me to get underneath and get my pan underneath the car without using a jack or jack stands. So I positioned the pan underneath the bolt or the nut with my 14mm. Gave her a turn. It was a little bit snug at first. Once I got like a quarter turn out of it, I could undo the rest by hand, which I'm doing right now, and try to see if I can minimize how much oil I get on my hand. Oh, not a very good job. But you can see it is pouring out, and pouring out pretty fast, thanks to leaving the filler cap open. Looking at how dark this oil is, I'm very glad that I decided to do this oil change. That's one of the things when you buy a new car, you know, they tell you, oh, I've always done oil changes, but you never really know. Just cleaning off the bolt. There's a magnet attached to the end of it, so you can catch any metal filings in your oil pan. Now the oil's all out, we're going to reattach the drain plug. Turn it by hand at first to make sure it's threaded properly. You do not want to be forcing this thing on. Back to my 14mm socket. And it says 23 foot-pounds. I don't have a torque wrench, but I put it on just as snugly as it was when I took it off. So this view is straight down the engine, from the top of the engine looking at the floor, kind of in between the engine and the radiator. I've also had a camera set up on the floor looking up. As you can see, I'm spinning off the old filter. There goes a gush of old oil. Those filters usually have half a liter oil in them. They're full when they come off. They drip. It's messy. Be prepared. Have your pan ready for collection. I forgot to wear gloves, but you should. Next time I do my oil change, I'll be sure to be wearing gloves. Have your collection bin ready. There's a lot of oil that still needs to come out of there. So after a few minutes of dripping, I'm ready to put on the new filter. Took a couple tries to find the right spot, but once it got on, it spun on like a top. Now it's important once the gaskets meet the metal that you just give it a quarter turn. Now that I've got the drain bolt reattached and the new filter attached, it's time to top up the engine. Again, it's 3.6 liters for this Toyota Echo. There's a big opening in the oil filler, so I didn't use a funnel. Just pouring slow and carefully. There's another view there. I'm pouring out of a 5-liter container. The container is graduated. It shows liters and half liters on the side, so I would stop once in a while, make sure that I didn't overfill the engine, making sure I'm checking the level. Pouring again. Took a few tries to get it right. Pouring again without a funnel, like a marksman. I think that's just about got it. Maybe a little bit more. And a little bit more. Oil's in. Time to tighten the cap. Put the dipstick back in. And we're going to restart the car and let it idle at about 2000 RPM for about 30 seconds to get the oil flowing, oil in all those nooks and crannies in the engine where it'll be drained out. So once you have your oil topped up and the cap back on, dipstick back installed, it's time to start the car, test it. So the oil change is nearly done. One last thing to do is to check and verify that the level is correct. Remove the dipstick, clean it off with a clean towel or rag, reinsert it in the motor, and pull it out again. And what you're looking for is the oil level line to be in between the hash marks on your dipstick. Some dipsticks have hash marks. They have a minimum line and a maximum line. You want to be in between those two lines. And we're done. This whole oil change took about 15 minutes to do. It took longer to edit the video and watch the video than it did to do the actual oil change. So I hope this was helpful. Please like and subscribe.